Moving back to, moving south to Armenia and NK and Azerbaijan, is active support for the Armenian population to return to NK on the U.S. foreign policy agenda? And then there's a follow-up question. Azerbaijan appears to have committed a number of human rights violations against the residents of Nagorno-Karabakh. How can the international community hold Azerbaijan accountable?
So we've got lots of credible experts that we are working with to collect as much data as possible on what happened before, during, and after September 19, September 20 last year, because there's also a history behind it. 100,000 plus people departed Nagorno-Karabakh. Most of them went into Armenia. So the first order of business is to provide as much material support to those who fled as possible. And as I mentioned, USAID is flowing a lot of money in that direction. It's part of the reason why I went with Samantha Power out to Armenia and out to the Lachin corridor as soon as possible, because we wanted to be able to come back to Washington and say, we've seen this with our own eyes and we need to act quickly. So we're doing that. The third thing is to enable a situation in which those who want to return are able to do so safely and with dignity. And we're not there yet on that, but that's an obligation that Azerbaijan has, right? They've got to stick with international commitments and standards on that score. And then thirdly, in the interim, we get reports of cultural artifacts and buildings being destroyed in Nagorno-Karabakh. Most of it is focused on Armenian artifacts. Some of it is focused on Azeri elements as well. Our view on this is that both sides have an obligation to protect these sites. More than that, we're also working with international organizations like UNESCO and others to ensure that there's some degree of protection. But this is a difficult issue.
Protection for people?
For the sites.
Oh, I see. Excuse me.
There are hardly any people, Armenians, left in Nagorno-Karabakh. Yeah.
But earlier you had been talking about those who want to go back.
Those who want to go back should be able to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's clearly a ways off in the future.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear that is on
that's definitely on the
U.S. agenda. So one more question about the very complicated relationship between Azerbaijan and Armenia, which is how likely are peace-building efforts to succeed with authoritarian regimes such as Azerbaijan? Now, we all know we don't get to pick who we negotiate with. We need to negotiate with the ones that we're in conflict with, but it's a good question. I mean, can one actually deal with authoritarian regimes? Is there any reliability to what they say?
We have the world that we have, and so we all can have feelings and judgments about countries and persons. My job as an American diplomat is to keep in mind what the U.S. interest is and to figure out a workable solution. If we all had the choice just to sit with those countries that we like and those people that we admire, I would be out of a job. So, but our job as diplomats really is to try to find that path through a difficult thicket.
Yeah.